What's up, guys, and welcome back to Stay Nerdy, my friends. I'm Johnston, here to tell you about the aerodynamics of pennies, the regeneration of brain cells, and how different memories are stored in your brain. Let's start with the pennies, because that's really interesting. Now, I'm sure you've all heard the myth that if you were to throw a penny off the Empire State Building, if it hits someone, it will kill them. Well, of course, that's not true, and here's why. If we are to completely ignore air resistance for a moment, we can find out how fast the penny can possibly be traveling under ideal circumstances. So without air resistance, the pull of gravity will accelerate the penny 32 feet per second, or 9.8 meters per second. So what this means is that for every second the penny is in free fall, it will be accelerating by 32 feet per second. So that's just how fast it's traveling. So that means that after like 1 second, it'll be at 32 feet per second. I actually did the math, so I'm going to read them off. After 1 second, it will be traveling at 32 feet per second. After 2, it will be at 64 feet per second. All the way down to at 8 seconds, it will be traveling 286 feet per second. Now, we know from Google that the Empire State Building is around 1,250 feet high. Now, what that tells us is that after 8 seconds, the penny will have traveled 1,182 feet. Now, that's just a little bit short of how tall the Empire State Building is, and if we are to figure it out completely accurately, the penny will fall for 8.4 seconds, approximately. There's a little bit of leeway in there. And what that also tells us is that the penny will be traveling approximately 286 feet per second. Now, if you want to know that in miles per hour, that's a pretty simple calculation. And how fast it's traveling is 209 miles per hour. Now, if that were to hit you in the head, that would certainly hurt quite a lot. It might even break the skin, depending on if the edge hits you or if it's the flat part. But it's not going to kill you. Now, that's in ideal circumstances without air resistance at all. If you were to go with air resistance, it's a little harder to figure out because there's no accurate way to figure it out because the penny's not a perfect circle. It's going to be flipping and rolling and doing all that kind of stuff while it's falling. So the air resistance will be different if the penny is falling like this and like this. So when the penny is kind of flipping all around like that, it's really hard to figure out. But, based on my calculations and a little bit of research I did, the penny will be falling anywhere from 30 to 60 miles per hour, which is certainly much slower than 209 miles per hour. So, once again, that will hurt, but it's not even going to break the skin. So, next time someone tells you that you can't throw a penny off the Empire State Building because it's going to kill someone, tell them they're full of it. Now, on to brains, because brains are very interesting as well. A lot of people recently, or I guess not even recently, for a long time, have been telling me, oh, don't do this, don't do this list of stuff because it kills brain cells, and your brain cells don't regenerate. Well, I've done some research, and no, they're absolutely wrong. Of course brain cells regenerate, because they're a cell. That's what cells do. However, researchers were a little concerned because brain cells are fairly complex cells that are involved with a lot of stuff, so they thought that if your brain cells have to regenerate, it can screw a bunch of stuff up. However, research at the Salk Institute in La Jolla has shown that the regeneration of brain cells is not only a perfectly natural part of the human body, it has almost no adverse effects. So it's perfectly natural. Don't worry about your brain cells not regenerating. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is how memories are stored, because that's pretty interesting. Actually, what happens is memories go to your hippocampus, which is sort of like it's a section of your brain. I believe it's in the center of your brain. And what happens is the hippocampus kind of like identifies what the different type of memory is, and it basically sends it to one of two places. It sends it to your temporal lobe or your prefrontal lobe. And basically, the only thing that's stored in your temporal lobe is semantic memories, which are like trivial facts, such as due to the leanness of its meat, you can't survive by only eating caribou. That's a pretty trivial fact. Or, any sort of trivial fact like that. That stuff your hippocampus sends that to your temporal lobe, and that's where those are stored. However, other things such as episodic memory, stuff like that, all of that goes to your prefrontal cortex, and that's where it's stored, you know. And that's pretty interesting, and the reason it does that is because your brain has to be able to identify the different types of memories, because if it stored everything together, it wouldn't be able to figure out if it's something that you yourself experienced or if it's something that you just kind of read somewhere or something like that. It would be really difficult. Anyway, it's basically there as a safeguard to keep your brain from short-circuiting, I guess. I just thought that was pretty interesting and pretty cool stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Stay Nerdy, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. I would love it if you guys share this video with your friends so I can get more subscribers and more likes, but you certainly don't have to. Anyway, I know I haven't been making episodes for a really long time, but for the past, like, 6 months, I've been going through some stuff, and I just could not make episodes at the time. However, I am back. I will be making episodes. There will at least be one episode every Sunday, and I'm also going to try to make a bonus video every Thursday. That's, of course, assuming I have time, but there will definitely be an episode every Sunday, I promise. Anyway, do me a favor. Thank you for watching this episode. Like our page on Facebook. It's just Stay Nerdy, my friends. Or if you have any questions you want me to answer in a video, or anything you want to tell me, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, or send an email to the show's email, which is staynerdy.myfriends@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and stay nerdy, my friends.